Hello. This next video is going to be about electric vehicles and are they actually better for the environment, which for the longest time I've been reading articles even from left-wing sources that it's really not that much better, or if anything could be worse to the environment. So, and with anything, I don't like when things are pushed on people or mandated, like vaccines. I'm not anti-vaccine. I mean, as you can see, I invest in vaccine companies. It's just I'm anti-mandate and, forcefully, and I see that happening with EVs, with politicians and the media. Everyone's pushing them. And it's like, and that makes me hesitate. Like, why is it being pushed so hard and mandated in California? You have to do this. And so here's an article, just one article of so many that I've seen through the years about EVs. I'm just going to read it to you. It's from Politico. So here it is. Using the U.S. Energy Information Administration's most recent long-term forecast for the number of new electric vehicles through 2050, estimated how much electricity they'd use, and then figured how much pollution that electricity would generate. Looking at three key pollutants regulated under the U.S. Clean Air Act: sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, and particulates, as well as CO2 emissions. I compared them to the emissions of new gasoline-powered vehicles, using the EIA's real-world miles per gallon forecast, rather than the higher CAFE standard value. What I found is that widespread adoption of electric vehicles nationwide will likely increase air pollution compared with new internal combustion vehicles. You read that right. More electric cars and trucks will mean more pollution. That might sound counterintuitive. After all, won't replacing a 30-year-old smoke-belching Oldsmobile with a new electric vehicle reduce air pollution? Yes, of course, but that's also where many electric vehicle proponents' arguments run off the road. They fail to consider just how clean and efficient new internal combustion vehicles are. The appropriate comparison for evaluating the benefits of all those electric vehicles subsidized and mandates isn't the difference between an electric vehicle and an old gas guzzler. It's the difference between an electric car and a new gas car. And new internal combustion engines are really clean. Today's vehicles emit only about 1% of the pollution than they did in the 1960s. And new innovations continue to improve those engines' efficiency and cleanliness. As far as the electric car, the energy doesn't come from nowhere. Cars are charged from the nation's electrical grid, which means they're only as clean as America's mix of power sources. Those are getting cleaner, but we still generate power mainly by burning fossil fuels. Natural gas is our biggest source of electricity and is projected to increase. And coal, while still declining, will remain the second largest source of electricity for some time. Third is nuclear power, which doesn't generate emissions but has other byproducts that worry some environmentalists. Even with large increases in wind and solar generation, the EIA's projects that the nation's electric generating mix will be just 30% renewable by 2030. Based on that forecast, if the EIA's projected number of electric vehicles were replaced with new internal combustion vehicles, air pollution would actually decrease. And this holds true even if you include the emissions from oil refineries that manufacture gasoline. So as far for states like California with stringent mandates to use more renewable energy for their power grid, they also have the highest electrical rates in the continental U.S., 50% higher than the U.S. average. And electrical rates in those states just keep increasing. So it's a cleaner power mix, but makes recharging your car more expensive. The higher the electric rate, the lower the incentive for a new car buyer to purchase an electric vehicle. As for greenhouse gas emissions, that electric vehicles will reduce them compared to new internal combustion vehicles. But based on the EIA's projection of the number of new electric vehicles, the net reduction in CO2 emissions between 2018 and 2050 would be only about 0.5% of total forecasts U.S. energy-related carbon emissions. Such a small change will have no impact whatsoever on climate and thus have no economic benefit. So that's an article from Politico, which is not a, right-wing, it's a semi-left-wing, news organization. So, I don't know. I know I don't want a lot of Tesla fanboys coming here and yelling at me or anything. I'm just making a point that with all this hype of EVs are the future, yes, everything's going EV, I don't know. I don't think I'd buy that. So just be careful when investing in EV companies. So that's all I got, All right. Take care. Bye-bye.